Hey friends, what is up and welcome back to my channel. So I'm not going to be doing a December wrap up. I haven't really read much, but I do want to sit down and talk to you guys about the one book that I did read this month. I actually read this on Kindle and then Bunny sent it to me from Amazon for Christmas. So now I have the physical copy to show you so I don't have to edit in the freaking pictures. If you're a creator, you know how annoying that is. So it will be Crazy Stupid Bromance. Don't mind the crease in the book. That doesn't actually bug me, but Amazon is horrible, and when I got my book it was literally folded in half, but that kind of stuff doesn't bug me. I am really excited to talk about this, but I have to say that this is the third one in the series. There is the Bromance Book Club, Undercover Bromance, and then this one. This is, like I said, the third. If you have read this series, you'll know that you don't necessarily need to know or have read the other ones to kind of know what's going on. Basically, there is a Bromance Book Club that is introduced in the first book, and it follows in the subsequent books. But this is the third one. I'm not going to really spoil any of the other books for you. I just wanted to talk about the one freaking book that I read. So this follows our main character Alexis and Noah. Noah is the love interest in this book. It is a dual perspective book, so it does talk about perspective from Alexis and the perspective from Noah, essentially. In the second book, there is a chef that is sexually harassing our main character of that book's co-worker, and that is actually Alexis. And then Noah is the hacker who kind of helps in the second book take down the gentleman who is sexually harassing people. So those are our love interests. You are sort of introduced to them briefly, not really. You get like a couple of paragraphs about them in the second book, but not much going in. So like I said, you don't necessarily need to read them in any specific order. I feel like you can kind of pick and choose what you want to read. Obviously, a lot of people are going to disagree with that. It just depends on your reading preferences. Really, all you need to know is that there's a bromance book club where guys get together to talk about how women are being treated like shit and how that they can better themselves to be better partners for their relationships. Alexis and Noah are best friends in this one, which I thought was really cool. Alexis is sort of recovering, obviously, and trying to find footing following a very public sexual harassment case. Because when she decides to come forward, this chef that she's coming forward against is very well known. Imagine like Mario Batali, which is probably insensitive to say because didn't Mario Batali have something happen similar to that recently, which maybe may have inspired kind of this situation? But Noah is there for Alexis. But the thing is, Noah and Alexis both like each other, and you know that pretty much immediately from the beginning of this book, but neither one of them is afraid, or both of them both of them are afraid to make the first move in initiating something besides friendship, because they have, oh my god, the best friendship in this book. Like, they are very loving, they are very attentive, they like know what each other needs. You know, basically like what you would imagine a relationship to be like, minus the actual like physical intimacy of a relationship. Noah gets wrapped into the Bromance Book Club because the gentlemen, the guys in the group, start to notice sort of what's happening with him and how he's feeling, and they're a little bit aware of the fact that he does have feelings for her, but doesn't necessarily know how to take that next step, if he wants to take that next step, what that would even look like. So I really appreciated that like kind of storyline where Noah is sort of battling like, I don't want her to think that I'm just like everybody else, that this is sort of what I'm dealing with, and he spends a lot of time kind of addressing like her emotional well-being, because Alexis, on the same hand, is going through a lot because not only was she sexually harassed by her boss, her mother has not recently passed away, but has passed away from cancer, but she does find out that her biological father is actually dying of kidney failure, and her sister, her like half-sister, I guess, finds her and tells her, you might be a match, would you be interested in donating your kidney? It's like kidney, liver, I don't remember. But this book was just a lot of fun. So the Bromance Book Club tends to be one of the series that I will probably go back to or have gone back to. I've actually reread the first one because it is very fun. It's fun and it's easy and it's lighthearted and there's banter and there's like a little bit of feminism in here, and there's a lot of like internal discussion with the characters on like the type of men that they want to be. There's a lot of emphasis on that. And then when it comes to the female characters, it has a lot to do with the things that they struggle with. Like, you know, Alexis is very kind and caring, but she is kind and caring to the point where she doesn't really take care of herself. She takes care of other people, and that's really shown up in this because she runs a cafe where women who are victims of sexual assault or sexual harassment, or even men, can come and speak to other survivors, and they have like a yoga class, and so it's really cool to kind of see that and to see Alexis sort of realize like what she needs to do to take care of herself. and to have Noah kind of there for her in that, and definitely in a very, very caring way. Like I said, he doesn't want to overstep any kind of bounds. He doesn't want to put her off into thinking that he's in it for the wrong reasons. So I really, really like this book. I would definitely recommend this series. There is going to be a fourth one. I can't remember. I think it's coming out in 2021. I don't know if it's going to be at the beginning or the end of the year, but there is going to be a fourth one, and it actually follows the Russian. So if you are interested in that, definitely check it out. There's not much that I didn't like about this book. I think that for me, other than the first one, I think in terms of which ones were my favorite, I would say the first one, this one, and then the second one. Second one was a little bit cringy in its like forced feminism kind of stuff. It sort of felt like that, but this one doesn't really have that. Like, it definitely talks about it, but it doesn't have a whole lot of that in here. Another thing that I didn't really like about this book is that there's a lot of talk of like military, and because Noah's dad actually died because of a, like, if you are not familiar with like civilian contractors that go over to, you know, places where we are at war, there are companies, civilian contracted companies, that actually do a lot of the tech for developing tanks, or some of the, you know, like what do you want to call it? Like some of the uniforms that they wear. And there's an issue with, I believe it's like a tank that they're driving, and his father dies because of that. So Noah decides to go and basically try to hack these companies to sort of leak the fact that they haven't been paying attention to what's going on overseas. So that was a little bit weird to me. It felt kind of far-fetched, the fact that Noah, I mean, Noah is smart in the book, definitely, but not to the point of that, I think, because he's very young when that happened. So it was kind of hard to like envision that and see that, but it is kind of nice also at the same time, because you get to see Noah's interaction with who would be his stepdad but isn't quite his stepdad. You'll see if you read the book, and kind of how that sort of plays out. I also liked about this book, Noah doesn't want to join the bromance book club. Like he's very adamant, like, I'm not fucking doing this. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't need your guys' help. And then eventually he is swayed to do it, obviously, because that is the plot of the book. But I like that he has that kind of like, I don't need help sort of thing. Noah's not a bad guy, which I appreciate. So a lot of the guys that go into the bromance book club are semi-misogynistic, very like, oh, I got it figured out kind of thing. Noah isn't like that. Noah isn't like that as a character at all. So there's a lot of time that you get to spend sort of learning who the characters are and what is important to them, and sort of who they are. And it's already kind of, I don't know, like, they're already good people. So they don't necessarily need help like that. They just need help in getting together. And so it's a lot more of shenanigans in this book, and like the bromance book club, like attempting to get that to happen. But the issue in this book, like because like I said, as it tends to be with romance novels, they go like, a couple meets, fall in love, there's something that happens, they break up, and then they get back together, because there's always a happy ending in a romance novel. The issue that sort of happens, I appreciated. It was one that I definitely saw, and I saw it as realistic because of the emphasis on who the characters are. Like I said, you go into this book like, you know, sort of knowing who they are, and then you get to expand upon, like, you know, that Noah is a good person and he wants people to trust him and love him. And that Alexis gives too much and doesn't really take care of herself. So the problem that happens in this book I found very realistic and very easy to see and to picture and to follow along with. So I like that, because it tends to be that those are just like issues that happen that more often than not this year when I read romance books, it was like, that makes no sense, literally open your mouth. But in this one, it made a lot of sense. It made the book go super smoothly. So Crazy Stupid Romance, I gave it 5 stars, naturally. I could not have given it anything else. So that is what I read this week. Let me know down below the books you read, the book you read, the book you're planning on reading, whatever it may be. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you in my next video.